Here we go, here we go. 25. Praeterea. Besides, Quaestiones, why does it not increase in Jaime in winter? And then is able, also then you might want to say it's able, the sea is able to be excited by winds, which are a little bit, indeed, majoribus. So during winter time, looks like there are winds which are more major, more stronger, a little bit. For these Etesian winds, they are mild or temperate. Quod sea. But if, I guess the water is ferreted, is bore from the Atlantic Ocean, once and for all, or at one time, it would obliterate Egypt, it would fill up Egypt. But now it crescits, it grows gradatim or per gradus through steps, stages. 26. Oenopides of Chius said, in winter, heat is contained underground, subterrace, and for this reason, Specus's caves are coloured, are warm, and water is comparative, rather tepid in putis, in wells. And so, the veins of rivulets of water, are dried from an internal heat. Said in Alis Terrace, but in other lands, this is still being said, rivers increase by rainfall. The Nile, because it's helped by no imbra, by no rain, it attenuates or gets thinner. Then it crescerates, grows through the summer, in which time, or at which time, it frigents, which means gets cold. The interior, or the undersides of the land gets cold, and a rigor, maybe a frosting or a stiffening or icing, returns to the springs, or frost or something. 27. But if subjunctive, what's it called? Imperfect. So it's another hypothetical. But then if it was true that in summer all the fluminas, all the rivers grow, all the wells, the putai, in the summer would be more abundant with water, or there'd be abundance of water. So then it's false that in winter, in Heim, there is maiorem calor, there's more heat under the ground, under the terrace. At Quare, but why the caves and wells, why are they tepid, why are they warm? Because because these do not receive, these caves and wells do not receive from outside, extrinsecus, the aera frigentem. That's probably the Greek variant, which could be, that's accusative, going with this, frigid, and some, they don't have the F. This is an alternate, because it's Greek. You probably see EM or something in other translations. From this same reason, in summer, they are refrigerated, they're cold, because they're remote and separated, seductus, to these outside airs, and perverted, I don't think so, pervenet. I'll put that in the nominative. And the hot air doesn't reach them. Okay, daily dictionary time. AER is male or female, for air, the lower atmosphere. Third declension Greek type. Accusative, AERA or AEREM. So that's why you have alternate spellings. It's also with plural accusatives as well. There are other things which can be confused with bronze work and some sort of weeds and a bunch of other things that can be confused with it. So what have we got? 28. Diogenes of Apollinates, wherever that is, he said, the sun wraps moisture to itself. Hunk is the accusative of a male. Tellus is female, third declension. So dried out earth or land draws this this moisture, from the sea and then from other waters. Okay, so this is supposed to be ipsum apparently. So the dried land draws its moisture from the sea, and the sea itself from other sources of water. However, this is not able to happen, as some land is dry, and in other places it's abundant with water. For there are perforations, they're all perforations in the land, in turn with perviae. It comes from pervium, it's like passageways or whatever. So they're all this land's got a lot of holes going through it, basically, and joining caverns. So it should not be like that. Anyway, the dry suments from the moisture. Alioquin. Otherwise, or in general, unless the land accepts something of moisture, we see the dry lands consuming or taking up from moistures. Unless this land accepts something of moisture, it will ex-aroid, it'll really dry up. Therefore, from everywhere the sun draws it. But from these which maxime, it greatly presses or oppresses the ground. So where the sun's blasting at its hottest, this is where the sun's getting its evaporating a lot of water. Okay, so these are meridianae, from where you get midday and south. So here it means south. South from all these northern regions would be near the equator, I guess is where the sun blasts most. 229. Land, when it's very dry, it educates more moisture to itself, more of moisture to itself. As in lanterns, plural, oil flows to that place where it burns, exertors. Thus, water lies down in that place to where the force of the heat and the scorching land is summoning it. Unde erga traet, from where then does it draw this water? From these places, scilicet, obviously, in the parts that are always in winter. In the north, the septentrionales, there's an abundance of water. Because of this, the Pontus Euxine and all that, it assiduously, constantly flows rapidly. The rapid Pontus flows into the lower sea, the Infernum Sea. Not as in the rest of the seas, going ultra citro here and there on alternate tides, but in the one part, maybe one direction, always, it doesn't look right, pronus, be flat and torrens, like a torrent of water. Quaestiones, that unless, faculty, accept that for now, easily in these meanderings or whatever of the water, that to wherever ds, wherever it was needed, wherever there was an absence of, the water would return, and to where superest, so that ds means it's lacking, superest means there's an overabundance, to where there's excessive amount, emitterita, would be emitted, I think, and now everything should be ought correlatives, either dry or inundated. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. 2030. Listen, if one could ask Diogenes, Bk4a, why pertusa sint cookta, so everything is perforated or joined, and in turn all these passageways come out, they all wander around through there. Why is it not in all places in summer that the rivers, the fluminas, are bigger? That's a good valid point. The sun cooks or bakes Egypt more, and so the Nile increases more. But in the other terraces, in the other lands also, there's injections somewhat to their rivers. So then why is any part of the earth without moisture when all regions draw from other regions? All the more so where it is caldi or hotter. Eo and quo correlatives. And wrap it up. Then why is the Nile dulcus, sweet water, fresh water? if its water comes from the waves of the sea. For neither is there any of a river, neither is any river, more sweeter in gustus, in taste, than that river. Okay.